Yes, and please, everybody, go watch this on Junkyard Dave's channel because he's the homie and like a very kind person. I can't say enough good things about it. I'm probably restreaming this now, so I won't flatter him too much on his own stream. We'll keep up images. My name is RocketSauna. I have a history with the Bucky O'Hare series. I grew up as a kid watching this cartoon show. So if you didn't know, Bucky O'Hare is a cartoon show that is based off of a comic book that was out in the 80s. Actually, I think it came out within like a month or two of the Ninja Turtles original release. So we'll get into this game here. I'm gonna do a audio countdown on my stream here, and we're gonna get into the run here, and we'll explain the rest as we go. So once again, NESDay on Junkyard Dave. And I'm RocketSauna playing Bucky O'Hare. Let's start with the countdown timer here. I'm going to pick it up when it gets down to 5 seconds. So 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So, you'll note that first thing we'll observe about the game is that I am playing the Japanese version of the game. Reason being is that the Japanese text, as in many games of this era, if you have scenes that you can't skip the text and you have to wait for it all to scroll out on the screen, this text is going to be a little bit faster going through in Japanese characters as they take up a little less room. So we end up saving. I actually don't know the numbers. If anything, I'd say Dave is the technical guy with this stuff. I'm still that redneck out in the sticks just playing games, but. So, Bucky O'Hare follows the story of a anthropomorphic rabbit that's green. He's captain of the Righteous Indignation. And the story of this game follows suit where his crew has been captured by the evil toads. In the cartoon series, you'll note that they are brainwashed by an artificial intelligence unit that they created named Complex, but they don't really give much mention of that in this game. Oh my gosh, we took a death already. Maybe I should stop talking and start playing. This is one of those things when you play this game casually and you're playing it for the first time. This area right here is extremely difficult to get through. There's a timing aspect on these log rides, and you have to kind of give it a little bit of a delay so it starts swinging back towards you before you hop onto it. So if you line everything up just perfectly... Whew, I just about did another pit. I'll make mention, it's been a little while since I played this game, and I was actually scheduled to do commentary for it today, so I was right prepped for that, but I didn't have the opportunity to really put any work into practicing it in the last little bit. However, I put a pretty good grind into it recently, so I feel like most of the muscle memory is still there. Less all these items that I'm supposed to be picking up here, but that's okay. We'll grab this one. No, we won't. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, continuing on the story of this, though, his faithful crew has been captured by the Toad Menace, and it's up to Bucky to rush out through the 4 planets and recollect his crew. This is the first boss here. This is the Toadborg, which is a character in the cartoon series. I think he's in the comic books as well. I only have the first issue of the comics, so I don't have like a big grasp on that series. I did watch the whole TV show. Oh, nice! I made that in a 2-cycle. That's something I haven't been able to lock down too much recently. If it hadn't have been for that early death there, that wouldn't have been a bad first level. So something we're going to watch in the speedrun is that, so we've just collected Blinky. He's the first of Bucky's crew that you rescue. You need his ability to break through the ice blocks in this level. Otherwise, we would go to this level first. But once you get Blinky and you can break through those ice blocks, you want to get through this level immediately because you rescue Jenny, and Jenny's ability is a psychic ball that is just ridiculously overpowered. It does... there's no iframes in this game for bosses, so it does just an incredible amount of damage per second if you hover this psychic ball over top of a boss's hitbox. So we'll grab her, and then we'll continue on the run, throughout the other bosses. The mashing will basically disappear at that point of the game. So the first couple levels, there's always a heavy match. I'm playing a couple of beginner strats here as I run through this, just to kind of play it safe. I know I'm on a bit of a time crunch here with not wanting to be the one that holds up NESDay. So I'm definitely going to keep track of, not doing anything too risky here. We're just going to play it safe, play it fun. I actually don't have to do anything on this screen. This screen right here in hard mode might be one of the hardest screens in this game. This screen on normal mode, you can stand here and just take the damage on the iceberg because that's what it's about. In hard mode, one shot kills you, so this becomes a real gauntlet of acrobatics and timing. This is where I stopped playing hard mode. Junkyard Dave, you might know, is an excellent runner of it, and I recommend that you check out one of his runs sometime because I believe he's absolutely insane for playing that mode. But it is really impressive to watch. And we're going to continue on through this back and forth launch down ramps here as we move into this room. There is some faster strats for this room. I find myself getting pinched between the spikes way too often, so I take it pretty easy in that room. I don't get myself too worked up. Again, if you're grinding for world record, there's a lot of places to save time. If you're just going for a personal best, well, take those improvements as you need to. This boss right here is Al Negator. Al Negator is a character that was created specifically for the cartoon series. He doesn't exist in the comic books. He was actually one of my favorite characters from the series there when I was a kid. He's just a villain with a cocky attitude, and he's kind of a rogue dude, and I don't know, I got a good vibe for Al. In the game, I hate Al. He takes a lot of damage. You sit here and you mash, and you mash, and you mash, and you jump, and you mash, and you jump, and you mash. We did get through that. That's pretty much the point of no return for me in the speed run, because at this point, I don't want to reset, because I don't want to have to match these first couple of bosses again, so yeah, we're just going to stick it like that. As we continue on throughout the game, now we'll get into the red planet, and one of the biggest mistakes you can make doing the speed run is when you complete the green planet, forgetting to, or just being a little slow on the draw on the menu screen, and accidentally throwing yourself into the red planet instead of the blue. The time loss is something that you can't come back from, being that Jenny's weapon is just too overpowered and cleans up the bosses too fast, and it's a reset immediately at that point. Oops, and speaking of jank gameplay that would induce resets and PB attempts, well, there I go. We're gonna take this easy here. No, we're not. We're gonna take the fire pit. Let's do it. And if you're familiar with my stream, you know when we're doing PB attempts, if we get pits, we like to play a little bit of ska when that happens. We're fans of Real Big Fish around here. They got a song that's an ode to the pit. Okay, you know what? I shouldn't, but I went for the risky maneuver twice in a row there. It's really not much of a time save. When you hit the pit, it's definitely not a time save. But here we go. This little lava drop here is kind of reminiscent of the laser beams in Quickman's stage from Mega Man 2. I find that that's what most people compare it to. If anything, I think it's actually a little easier than that section once you figure it out. I still have points when I'm playing Mega Man 2 where I could struggle in the laser area, whereas that room there, for my runs here, I hardly ever make mistakes in that one anymore. So, not only did they rip off Mega Man 2, but they did a bad job of it. No, in all honesty, though, Konami put together an amazing game for this, and, I mean, I was a big fan because I was a fan of the series, like I say, but it's great to see the love that this game gets nowadays, from the speedrun community, from the retro community. It's not an easy game for the first play, but the RNG is fairly low. And when you do get the factor on the game, man, this has got to be like the worst climb I've done in so long. There is a quick way up here, and it's pretty well routed, but I have just jumped into every spot that I shouldn't have. And this is looking like a casual game right now here. Dave, did you want me to play this fast? Because I forgot to turn up the speed. Sorry. Speaking of not turning up the speed, we're just going to do this the slow way here too, the slow and safe way. I am having a great time though. And that's the reason why I got into running this game. And this is something I would say about anybody that wants to get into running a game. I think you got to find something that you enjoy playing. I started running this because my cousin Chainsaw Bear, he didn't speedrun and he wanted to attempt a game, and he always loved this game from his childhood. And he kept mentioning he was going to do it, but it wasn't wasn't happening. So I just started kind of playing it on the regular and putting a timer on it just to see how it would turn out. And we eventually got to a point where I was putting real times on the game, and the rest is history. As you can see, that is pretty much the display of how overpowered Jenny's attack really is. That boss took longer to roll into the room than he did to defeat with the attack. So we'll head off onto the yellow planet now. We've rescued 3 of Bucky's crew members. We've got Deadeye Duck, we've got Blinky, we've got Bucky, of course, we started with, and Jenny. All good characters. If we were playing this game and we were going to be filthy cheaters and use death warps to cheat, I would just be running straight forward in this, and I would not be worried about taking any damage, because if I was to do that, that would set me up almost perfectly for the death warp that you need to take one more scene up in this game. But I grew up playing this game as a kid, so I didn't know about these death warps as a kid. And, oops, shoot. I missed a power up there, and that's going to cost me later on. This is okay. We'll worry about that later again. But being I never was introduced to the warps until much later, it was never a way that I had really put any time into playing. Oh my gosh. Same with hard mode. Like, it's just not something I knew existed prior to, well, about a year or two ago. I guess probably when I met Junkyard Dave. This little section here is fairly easy to get through, but it does require a bit more concentration. Now here's where we get into risky gameplay. Ooh. One, because that's a very rare mistake to make, but I just hit the timing where I fell off the end of the cart when I hit the charge there. But there's a little skip where you ride the jetpack to skip between carts. Now, what we realized was that there was a very, very small window in which you could do a second and third cart skip. I'm not quite in the right positioning, so we're gonna scrap that. But it was something I had considered back when I'd learned the cart skip, but I put a bit of time into it, and I just couldn't master it. And Mirig, a friend of mine there, Mirig the 7th, check him out too. He's a great runner of this game. He put a bit of time into this concept there too, and he brought it to Dave's attention. Well, Dave, being the technical animal he is, went and tasked it and figured out that yes, you could do this if you were someone with superhuman reflexes. And well, Mirig was up to the challenge and proved to us all that it was possible. And now it's a trick that falls into... Oh my god, I don't have enough power to do this. That was that power-up I missed earlier in the level. This is okay. This is fine. We're gonna go old school. Normally we would just use Jenny's ball to mash out this battle. It is a fairly precise maneuver as far as placement, and I was a little too far forward to make it work anyway. But my control of the ball was just outrageous there. To put in perspective, like, how much power that ball has. Like, look how fast I just demolished the rest of the enemy versus mashing single shots at the bottom gun. Like, it's just, it's outrageous. Okay. On what is not a very great PB attempt, but is definitely a good display of what is an excellent NES game, I am moving on from the portion where we rescued all of Bucky's friends. Unfortunately, it was a trap, and it was set by the Toads to capture Bucky, and so yeah, they got him now. You get your homies back for about all of 8 seconds. You don't even get to use Willy. Willy, he goes straight into the cell. It's done. So Bucky's crew has been captured yet again, as has he. We have Blinky the robot and Bucky with us. I don't know why they'd leave Blinky with his block blasting gun, but thank you for doing that, Toads. That was a big oversight on your part. Probably the only reason that we succeeded in defeating you by the end of the game. We appreciate it. So yes, this is the first of the stages within the Big Toad airship. This is actually one of my favorite stages in the game. It's one of those ones when you dial it in, it feels really good. There's lots of movement in it, lots of jumping, all these conveyor belts, laser beams to dodge around, blocks to break. It's just a good variety of gameplay. You gotta switch between Bucky and Blinky back and forth repeatedly. It's got a high level of challenge, but it's really rewarding when you do dial it in. This isn't a perfect run by any stretch, but it still feels good. Oop, I missed a couple of shots there. Still feels good when you do get it. And I mean, not every run you can lock it in like that. That's just the way that it goes. But pick a game that you love running, and it'll always be a good time. Okay, so that was a little faster than I often take that boss. I feel like my mash today is well rested. Doing these morning runs, maybe we're onto something here, Dave. Maybe I need to stop being a degenerate streaming at all hours of the night and start taking on some earlier shifts. I hope the background noise isn't too bad here today. That is the reason that I don't stream at night, is because I am a family man with a lot of children, and I can hear them all being quite loud in the background right now. So I apologize if that's coming through too bad. The good news is this new mic I got seems to reject a little more background noise, so hopefully that's a good go. I'm not even going to comment on my spikes there. That is a mistake I make so often. That's one of my worst rooms in this run, actually. Oops. I'm probably the only person that doesn't change to Bucky or Jenny there and take that shot as a straight shot instead of risking it with Blinky, but that's the way I learned, and I just... feels good. Okay, once again, I do not have full power for Jenny, so this is just a mess. There's going to be no way to get this quick kill. So we are now down to mashing. This is really going to cost me in the grand scheme of things there. That one mistake, missing that one power-up. Once again, though, no bad runs when you enjoy a game. And actually, I know where I can pick up an extra power-up, and it's going to cost me about 5 seconds in game time, taking a quick death there, and it's 2 rooms ahead of you. So we're going to switch back to Jenny, we're going to get that, and we're going to sack her, and then just start the room over again. And it's actually easier to sack your player than it is to try and get back into the loop of those platforms there, believe it or not. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. So this right here is a fun little part. This is the elevator right here, and I can't remember if I'm in the right column or not. If you get yourself into the right position on this lift, you'll find yourself in a place where you can't be hit by neither the boulders nor the spikes. And you can just ride this elevator straight up, shooting your gun straight up, and just hanging out. This is actually something that I discovered as a child. This was, I always had something about optimization. I'd sit there and I would just analyze things. And this one, yeah, definitely figured that one out. It's cool to see that's like a major strategy in the speedrun as well. Of course, it's very easy to be a couple pixels the wrong way, left or right, and, well, all of those spikes are an instant death, and as you can imagine, with this being an auto-scroller going up, this is really a place where it can get miserable quickly and can ruin a speedrun immediately if you make the slightest mistake, so we'll take care here and dodge the spikes accordingly. think I'm still within my my reasonable play time for this. I don't think we're gonna have any problem getting out under the clock, but I am a little concerned as the later levels go because there is some big mistakes to be made up ahead here. All right. This really is kind of a place where you can just relax and take your time and rejuice because there ain't much to think about there. Okay, let's start thinking again. Let's get back in here. So, Duck is out. We've now recollected all members of our crew. They all have a place in the speed run. Deadeye Duck doesn't have a lot that he does. There's a few rooms that you definitely, you can't pass without having him. Relax in this game. Only if you're not playing hard mode. That's right. And RIP Trash Mash, we don't need you anymore. Oh yes, and I should have actually... Oh. Twice he got hung on that. So these guys are just a nuisance. They make it really difficult to jump over those spikes because they like to nail you there. That was a bad start. Okay, try that again. I am not manipulating him properly at all. Okay, well, I'm gonna beat this like a filthy casual. There we go. We made it. I don't know. Maybe we use Blinky. This is a very satisfying section when you get the vibe of it as well there. I took just about every outline hit you could, but... Oh, what did I do? What did I do? I don't know how Bucky got a power-up. He definitely shouldn't have a power-up. We made a mistake. This run has got to be the dirtiest Bucky run I've had in a while. Okay, Brain Slugs. Fun fact, you can lock the whole game up with the Brain Slug. There's a, like a one-frame window when the Brain Slug transforms between being, a parasite on your head that's empty and being fat, where it, if you spike it at the same time, it crashes the game. I guess it doesn't know what to do. That was another one that Mirik found out, actually. It's funny, though, because I remember doing that one time, and isn't it crazy how, like, you can crash a game and not really think much of it, and then you have friends that understand things a little more technically, and they can go back and, you know, when you're a streamer, you can, you know, take the VOD and you can recreate what happened and really try and figure out what was happening in the game when it broke. And that's when we discovered that it was an animation frame for the slug that was causing it. Oh my goodness. I'm not getting a good run under these space buttholes here, but it's okay. Let's go. At the very least, I got my juice back up. Oops, missed shot there. Got my juice back up before the boss. Oh. Should have been able to one-cycle that, but I made a slight mistake there. It's okay. We'll get a quick 1.5 cycle. We will salvage this run. So, we're about 23 minutes into it so far. Entering the magma tanker. This is possibly the hardest level in the game. That spot in the previous screen is why I don't add any power to Bucky's jump, because his base model jump, right from factory, OEM, stock, is the perfect height for that jump. Any more than that, you can make a mistake there. Nope. I tell you, Deadeye, this is where I really struggle to keep it up in the run there. I prefer not to take a game over, but we're looking real close to it here. Game over percent, let's go. Always in a tournament too, eh? Love it. Now, the good news about a game over in Bucky is the only thing it costs you is your total health. All of our power-ups stick around, so it's not a game breaker there or whatever. It's not a deal breaker, I guess, what I should say. But it will cause a lot of pain in someone who's doing a first playthrough if, say, they take a death like that near a boss room or in a boss room. They don't have the opportunity to recollect their health. It's like the game looks at you and goes, well, you were having a hard time doing that, but since you gamed over, we're going to give you about a third of the health, and good luck. Oh, man. Say this is a moment of very critical jumps and tight movements, and I am much out of practice. Feeling the heat right now. Feeling the heat, the distractions, and everything. We're just going to take our time, take it slow, ignore the background noise, and just do our best here. Okay. Back in viz. Now we need full health before we get to the next screen. This is another spot where it pays not to have any power added to Bucky's jump. Oh, well, that's going to be costly in time. Oh, that might be costly in life. Okay. Normally you would take some damage boosts along the way, but I made a couple of pretty big mistakes there. And those were not boosts. Okay. Okay. I think we're back in action here. I was just getting myself a little hung up for a moment there, getting a little tilted, but we're good. This section right here is not too bad once you understand the methodology of it there. These wheels just kind of rotate as they go around, and you just got to stay in the right position when they make that quarter turn. It is a little bit to wrap your head around the first time you do it, but it's not too bad once you start to get the stick of it there. Those guys right there are the worst fucking character in the game, though. And apologize for my my foul language, but there is a they spawn based on your position on the screen. They basically jump around and shoot guns at you. When they're on the screen, they're incredibly hard to manip and stay in line with. When they're off screen, you can sort of play around with manipping where they spawn for. Like that one right there. Okay, so we're about to enter the boss room here on what is arguably one of the more difficult bosses in the game in casual mode, and arguably one of the easier bosses in a run. Just because once you know that you can destroy that lower cannon and sit here and remain unscathed for 90% of the battle, up until about this part, the only thing that will take you out is that lower shot there, coming from the core. Definitely not optimized, but we made our way through that. I got about 9 minutes to finish this game, and I should be able to do Magma Tanker in that, provided the jank doesn't catch up with me. But as many may know, when you live by the jank, you die by the jank. And I live by the jank. All right. So this turns into like a Gradius-style shooter game here for the conclusion. This is one of those things that I really liked about Bucky O'Hare, was that they did a lot with platforming. They gave a lot of cool elements to this game. You know, you have those minecart runs back in the Yellow Planet. You've got some vertical platforming, specifically in the Yellow Planet and the Red Planet, that is quite challenging. You've got lots of just like hopping and traversing, like platform to platform type thing. Pardon, I'm getting my concentration broken here a little. I'm just going to focus on the game for a second. I got a lot of noise going on in the background here. If you've ever caught a RocketSauna stream before, though, you do know that I not only live by that jank, but I also live that hashtag dad life. 24/7. Awesome. This is another one of those moments that I could see being very difficult in hard mode, just because the being able to dodge all of the stuff that's on the screen and not take damage from it is quite a difficult maneuver there. I made a big mistake there trying to go for that bottom shot. I don't exactly know what I've just got kids screaming in the background. I'm losing my concentration here. But I am going to make it through this section here, and I'm just going to try and play it conservatively as not to take a death, as that'll be the most costly in my time on this. I'm doing my best to get through this as optimally as I can, having made that early mistake there. But this is a boss that is driven on a frame rule. It's actually, I don't even really quite understand how this works. I've watched some videos about it. Dave has explained it to me. I grasped the loose concepts, but essentially, your timing is very specific on how you have to defeat it. And if you lose any shots, it's going to cost you several seconds at the end of the fight, because you'll end up coming out on the wrong frame, and you'll be essentially, a screen and a half behind, and it'll just take you that time to catch up. So. So now this is where many people in a casual playthrough will really be beating their heads against the table. And this is one of the cruel points in the game where, if you are unfortunate enough to take a game over here, there is nowhere to replenish your life, and you will have to try and come back and defeat this boss with a third of a health bar. I was a little slow coming up there, so I did get tapped by the nose of the tanker ship, and I'm going to have to go back and do this again. There is a one-cycle kill on this boss. It's pretty precise to nail. I have a hard time seeing the visual cue, but I can generally get it lined up there. If you're not doing the quick kill on this, or if you're playing it casually, you actually have to survive this ship, riding underneath the ship with those cannons shooting at you. So your best benefit is to try and take those cannons out the best you can on the first pass. I just took a hit there, which was not optimal by any stretch here. I don't think I'm lined up in the right spot. This is not optimal by any stretch. I think I'm going to try and make the wraparound here to demonstrate that. Clearly a demonstration and not a demonstration of jank, but yeah, no, it was a demonstration of jank. Alright, where are we at? 33 minutes. We can still come out of this. I just need to relax and make that quick kill. If we don't relax and make the quick kill, we'll do the long kill. It's about a 2-minute process, though. So I did a ton of damage to those, which is good if I have to take the slow routing. Ideally, it's not going to happen. We're going to get this quick kill right now. That looks right. I think we got it. Yeah. So essentially, if you get the quick kill lined up properly, you can, in normal mode, just sit there with Willie, firing those high-power blaster shots, and plow right through the engine of that ship, destroyed just like that. And then we come into the air marshal. We're going to go for the quick kill on the air marshal here too. It's a bit of a risk to reward one that you really have to dial in on the fly. I've taken way too much damage for the first portion of it, but it's okay. I just need to rein in my damage boosting here a little bit. There we go. And we're complete. And the timer ends when Willie loses control. What would be considered probably not the greatest run, but for a D-Rust, not too bad coming in at that time. When I started playing this game and I was trying to get under an hour, well, I would have been dancing around the house for a time like this. So, you just got to put things in relativity. Hey, I'd like to say, as this victory music, which, by the way, the music in this game is just a banger, isn't it? But as the victory music starts to play out for this game here, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Dave and Kat for putting on this event. Y'all are real positive beacons in the speedrun community, and I like seeing folks like you succeeding and putting things on. And please, if you're in my channel right now, go give a follow to Junkyard Dave. He's worth checking out. He's doing a partner push right now, so let's help get him over the line there, make him a big name, so that I can say I know a big time streamer. This is an awesome game. If you haven't played it before, I recommend picking it up. If you haven't checked out the cartoon show before, I also recommend giving that a watch. If you got some young children, maybe somewhere in the 6 to 10 range, the kind of ages that would like something like Ninja Turtles, show them Bucky O'Hare. It's a classic of its age, and it's good. So, hey, I'm gonna let it ride out here. I don't think there's really much else for me to say. We'll let this screen wind down as it does. Be sure to check out the rest of NESDay, though. It's going on all day today. And keep an eye on any future events they've got going. As for me, I'm continuing the fundraising I'm doing this month for the Joshua House over here in British Columbia, so if you're in the neighborhood, you're watching a stream, hey, maybe you want to come see what that's all about. Other than that, I'm going to sign off, and I think we'll send this party over to Junkyard Dave, because that's where I want to be. That's where I'm going to be for the rest of the time I'm watching Twitch today. So.